Young.
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
And a good Monday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking the return of some clouds as we head through our Tuesday. Even as early as tonight, we're starting to see a bit of cloudiness out there right now. Certainly, it was much brighter earlier this afternoon and much cooler than it has been over the last couple of days. Temperature right now, 74 degrees. The dew point is 49, so it feels beyond refreshing, rather comfortable, and even dry in some cases. Winds out of the south-southwest at 7 miles an hour. Other numbers from around the region were already down into the 60s, up toward the northeast and down toward the southeast as well. Cooperstown at 68, Old Forge at 69, and we've got 70s for most of our area down toward the southwest, including Herkimer right at 70, Johnstown also at 68. Some of those dew points across the region right now, most of us into the 40s, but there are a couple of exceptions like Johnstown at 39. Remember, this is how much moisture is in the air. Old Forge at 51, but no matter where you are across the region, it feels rather comfortable. And let's take a look here at those dew points from across the northeast. Most of us into the 30s and 40s from New York up into New England, but once you head down toward the south into the mid-Atlantic, portions of Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, as well as Delaware, it's down into the 50s and in some cases the 60s. So dew points more noticeable down there. The radar, as it has been the case over the last couple of days, remaining dry, although that's going to change as we head through tomorrow night and especially as we head into Wednesday, which is some good news. The reason why we're dry is because of this area of high pressure down toward the south, but we've got a front to the south of that stretching its way from the mid-Atlantic back into the Midwest, and that'll head our way, not only bringing some warmer weather as we head into the end of the week, but also chances for showers. The latest on Hurricane Erin, it is still, as of the 5 p.m. advisory, a Category 4 storm with maximum sustained winds of 140 miles an hour, moving to the northwest at 10. Over the weekend, it did reach Category 5 strength Friday night into Saturday morning, and we're also watching this area of disturbed weather over Puerto Rico for potential tropical development. But of course, the main concern is Erin. From Florida up toward the New England coast, there will be some higher surf over the next few days, but other than that, no direct impacts, and it'll weaken eventually from a Category 4 back into a Category 1 as it passes through the Canadian Maritimes. Futurecast closer to home showing you temperatures dropping back between 50 and 55 for most of us overnight, with an east-southeasterly breeze around 2 to 8 miles an hour. Tomorrow we'll also see a lot of clouds. Most of the day remains dry, but toward and after this time tomorrow night, we'll start to see some showers developing from northwest down toward the south and east. High temperatures tomorrow will also be into the lower 70s, so even cooler than it was today with all of those clouds. And as far as rainfall, there could be as much as an inch of rain, maybe 2 inches of rain further to the southwest as we head through. That'll be through Friday, but again, most of that Tuesday night into Wednesday. And as we head through Thursday and Friday, things will dry out and warm up for the first few days of the State Fair. Thomas, back to you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
And a pleasant Monday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking some cooler conditions as we head through the next couple of days, and that includes right now it's 63 degrees, dew point of 47, so rather refreshing and in fact rather dry in some cases out there too. Winds out of the northeast at 9 miles an hour at this time. Other numbers from around the region, we've already got a couple of readings that are down into the 50s, like Old Forge at 55, Herkimer at 59, and Cooperstown as well at 55, Oneonta 53 at this time. Most of us are going to end up in the upper 40s to the lower and middle 50s during the overnight hours. And in case you're wondering where we are compared to this time last night, we have a couple of readings like Boonville +3, Utica +1. They're actually warmer than they were this time 24 hours ago, but everybody else basically is cooler by as much as 2 to 8, in some cases 10, 11, 12 degrees, especially to the south, the thruway. And I think many of us are going to be even cooler than that as we head through the overnight hours and when you wake up tomorrow morning. The radar, as it has been since over the weekend, is fairly quiet, and since most of the last month, I should say, as well, thanks to high pressure that has been in control. But we are starting to see a frontal boundary making its through the midsection of the country, and that'll be with us tomorrow evening and in through most of the day on Wednesday. So not only will we see a rise in temperature once we get past Wednesday, but we will also see a few rain chances, which is much needed. So we've got tropical storm, or I should say Hurricane Erin. It's been a Category 4 storm. At one point it was a Category 5 back over the weekend, but now it's back to a 4, still producing winds of 130 miles an hour, moving to the northwest at 10 miles an hour as of the 8 p.m. advisory. And then we're also watching this area around the Caribbean for a potential development as we go through the next couple of days. But of course, the big hurricane headline has been Erin, which thankfully is going to run parallel to the East Coast. And while there may be some higher surf as well as some beach erosion, especially along the Carolina coast where there are mandatory evacuations, there won't be any direct impacts to the East Coast. Back here closer to home, we'll have temperatures in the 50s, 40s, 60s during the overnight hours, only making their way into the lower and middle 70s for most of us during the day tomorrow, with a lot of clouds, showers moving their way in from northwest to southeast as we go throughout the day. And some of those could be heavy at times, especially to the southwest. And they'll start to taper off as we head through Wednesday late afternoon into the evening hours. High temperatures tomorrow only around 72 to 74 at best for most of us. And in terms of that rainfall, we could be looking at as much as half an inch to an inch, maybe 2 inches of rain, with most of that occurring through the day on Wednesday. But that model takes us all the way through Friday, when we will see the sun returning. That occurs as early as Thursday, and it looks to last through Saturday. And we'll also see a warming trend, temperatures making their way into the 70s and 80s by the time we get into the weekend. Thomas, back to you.
Thank you, Jordan. The preseason is...
Now, your Eyewitness Weather forecast.
And a good Monday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking a few shower chances as well as some more September-like weather heading our way as we head through mid to late August. So let's take a live look right now at downtown Utica, where currently it is 59 degrees, very September-like out there right now. Dew point is 49, so it also feels like that in terms of the dew point as well. Winds out of the east at 7 miles an hour. Other numbers from around the region, most of us down into the 50s already, and some of us, in fact, some of us down toward the south and west, Sherburne and Hamilton, are already at 50 exactly. But in Boonville, it's still 63 degrees in northern Oneida County. Most of us have a calm wind. If not most of us, it's between 2 and 8 miles an hour out of the east right now, and that's going to remain the case. Light winds, a variable direction as we head through the overnight hours. The radar also remaining quiet as it has been for most of the better part of the last month and for most of July as well. We do have frontal boundary down toward our south and off toward the west, which is producing some showers and storms over the midsection of the country, getting into Michigan as well. And some of those clouds, as well as that precipitation, will head our way, ushering in some warmer air as we head through tomorrow night and once we get into Wednesday as well. The latest 11 p.m. advisory has Erin down to a Category 3 storm now, slightly. The last hour it was 125 mile per hour, or I should say 130 mile an hour Category 4. Now it's down to 125, so it's just borderline right now, moving northwest at 8 miles an hour. Keep in mind, at one point this weekend it did get up to a Category 5 status, so thankfully we're starting to simmer down from that. But as it heads up toward the north and east, it will run parallel to the north, to the eastern seaboard, but still producing a lot of beach erosion, especially from New Jersey as far south as the Carolinas and Georgia, where there are mandatory and in some cases voluntary evacuations. And it'll become a Category 1 storm as we head into the weekend as it passes to the southeast of the Canadian Maritimes. Overnight tonight, back here closer to home, we'll have temperatures in the 40s to around 50, making our way into the upper 60s and lower to middle 70s as we head through the day tomorrow. So feeling more like fall as opposed to late summer. And then as we head through the evening, we'll see that rain working its way in from northwest to southeast. On Wednesday morning, there could not only be some downpours, but some embedded thunder as well, with winds out of the east-southeast at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. Wednesday will be in the 60s. Tomorrow will be in the lower and middle 70s, which means areas up toward the northeast could be around 65 to 70, and there could be as much as 1 to 2 inches of rain between most of that on Wednesday, but that model goes all the way through Friday, when we will see the sun returning to the area finally, as well as some warmer temperatures. Thursday, it looks like we'll see some sun and clouds, but if you're heading to the New York State Fair, opening day is on Wednesday, and it's going to be cool, 65 to 70. Thomas, back to you.
Thank you, Jordan. Coming up next on